Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania has the largest drop-off in the second weekend box office of any superhero movie ever. That is an 82% drop from opening Friday to this Friday. Even after a successful opening weekend, which was the biggest success of any Ant-Man film, Quantumania is tracking to not be doing so hot at the box office. Now, this 82% drop, I think is partially because obviously, or majorly because all the reviews sucked, but also I think it did overperform week one. So like the fact that it like that also hurts it for underperforming week two. But do we think this is actually going to change anything going forward with Marvel, or do you think they're going to need like 2 flops in a row in order to like start to change some stuff? Because if you think about it, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever and Thor: Love and Thunder were not great box offices either. Because I know like Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, they said like just barely broke even after their marketing budget, and Thor: Love and Thunder made even less. So like they weren't flops like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania will be, but I don't know. Do you think this will change anything?
I have a take. Ready? I have a take.
Drop it to us.
I truly think Kevin Feige and Marvel had no intention of releasing a good movie here. I think they sat in a room and said, literally, we just need to introduce Kang. We don't care how we do it. Like, the CGI and like, the backdrops in this movie are horrific. But you look at other movies like Black Panther, Thor: Love and Thunder, Eternals. Like, these are all, like, well-produced movies. Like, they look good at the very least. Even if you don't fuck with the comedy or the scripts, like, they look good at the very least. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania feels like a movie that Marvel was literally just like, release it. Like, we need a way to introduce Kang. We'll do it here. We don't care if, you know, box office numbers suffer. We don't care about critic scores. People are still going to show up for our movies regardless. Just release this piece of shit. And that's what they did.
Sorry, I am entirely focused on getting Soups and At Midnight a picture of him. But I disagree with that. Like, I'm certain they didn't want to just like, they weren't like, oh yeah, let's make a bad movie. Who gives a shit? I'm certain they weren't.
No. I don't think they said let's make a bad movie. They just said let's quickly make a movie. We don't care how it shows out or how it turns out. It doesn't matter to us.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think they did that even, but whatever. I will say, like, this unfortunately is not gonna, you know, change anything for Marvel, but it does start to move the needle at least a little bit, and I think Thor: Love and Thunder like also had a big drop. The problem is, again, like we did, so you'll see a real fun game later in the week is top 20 or top 50 actually, box office of the 2020s, whatever. Every single Marvel movie is in there, and it's always going to be in there. So like at that same point, they're still, you know, making a shit ton of money, and once you put it against their budget, they definitely don't make as much as they used to. I'm sure at some point that will hit stockholders. I think like what Disney Plus just had its first like down quarter. It will hit stockholders at some point, and that will actually cause change. I think people kind of overreacted to this, and I replied to it and was like, this isn't going to make the big change, but it will at least start moving the needle. And, you know, I'm still on the Marvel train, so whatever. But if you're fully off and you're like, they need to make better movies, this will at least, it doesn't hurt your argument by any means.
Yeah, it's either gonna do nothing or it's gonna help a little bit. So it's definitely like not bad news. Like, you know, it's gonna like at least somewhat move the needle. But Seth, do you think it's gonna change anything with Marvel, or do you think they're just gonna keep cranking out on movies no matter what?
Seth will watch it.
I think it's. I'll watch. I just don't care. But I don't know, man. I think they'll just keep doing the same thing.
I think it's fair to say it's at least making somewhat of a change, considering they're like lowering production on shows and then they're pushing back the Marvels. So like they're obviously doing something. Whether
I haven't watched. I don't know the quality of the shows because I've watched.
I mean, they're definitely not to par. I think Loki is very good, but I think it's a situation where there's just too many for a lot of people. Like I think
especially for the general audience,
if they only had Loki, WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and we'll throw in like
Miss Marvel.
Even if they had all three of those and She-Hulk, I don't think people would be as hard on She-Hulk as they were, because they had What If, Miss Marvel, and what else am I missing? One other, Moon Knight. I really
and
don't.
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
Yeah, there are
I
a
see
lot.
what you mean. They
No,
release a lot.
That's all I'm saying. Like, I think they wouldn't have as hard of a time if they didn't produce as many shows. So I'm interested to see where it goes because I don't know. I fully expect Loki season 2 to be as good as the first, and again, I'm higher on it than most, but I think even George says it's the best at the very least. And then I expect Secret Invasion to be good because it's got a good cast. It's like Nick Fury coming back. I expect it to be good. So maybe I'm delusional, but I think they've put all their good eggs. I think they've put their good eggs in the right baskets. And then they've like I didn't think like Echo or maybe what else got moved would be all that great. Ironheart probably not going to be all that great.
Yeah,
but those two I can still believe in.
I'm gonna rip you guys with the Puss in Boots reference real quick. This scene where
This is worse than Soul.
No, the scene where Perito is like, "Home is where my friends are," and then Kitty looks at him and goes, "Are you deranged?" This is how I feel like Seth is looking at camera.
Probably, man. I'm just saying, like they're clearly making some sort of a change. Is it as much as most people want? Probably not. Not
If
actually.
they're doing less content, it's a change.
Yeah,
no
they're in the
offense,
step
you're
in the right
minority,
direction
so I would
because
say
they're doing less content, which is good. I really am interested what the PR decision was to like release this news that they were like, by the way, shortcuts were taken on the video effects of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania because we dedicated it all to Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. What, Cam?
I gotta guess. I didn't read the article, so I'm an idiot. Who knows? But I gotta guess this was not their PR. This was a disgruntled employee's PR.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
to be fair, I can't really think of much in Wakanda Forever that I was like, the CGI sucks. So I wish I could have been like,
yeah, no, I think it looked good.
yeah, no, like, but
the suits were not great.
yeah, the suits, but yeah, I don't know how much of that like is going from the VFX and stuff, but yeah, it's like part of me wanted to be like, wow, they dedicated resources to Black Panther: Wakanda Forever to still suck. Like if they would have said they dedicated resources away from Quantumania to go towards Thor: Love and Thunder, then I'd be like, ooh, that's like a rough headline because neither way it looked great, but yeah, just a wild headline that like they took shortcuts with the VFX. Don't know how much of it's true. It might be just a disgruntled employee, but still just interesting to say the least, and kind of helps cater into the whole fact that like we're trying to do less content going forward. So hopefully no more shortcuts need to be made with VFX when that's one of the peak things people have been criticizing it the past year or two with Marvel.